straight to the point. I really enjoyed this movie. So this is going to be a really short review. I don't think I really need to go into too much depth except to let you know it is worth watching. No, I don't care for talking about a movie's plot in my reviews. I myself don't care to hear about it in other reviews as well. I just want to hear whether it's worth my time watching or not. A simple Google search will just get me the plot details later. I'm a big fan of the original trilogy, so I was looking forward to this edition. Now, the third film ended with a satisfying closure to the series, so was this edition necessary? Not at all, but was it worth continuing the story? Absolutely. Going back to the world of Kenshin, and the lore and the characters the series brought, I must say it was really refreshing to see in the midst of all of Hollywood's current blockbuster style of filmmaking. The story picks up very nicely from the last film. The way it calls back to all three films was well done in my opinion. And there was one specific scene that brought everything together and just gave me an aha moment. And I admit this is the best aha moment I've seen in quite a long time. How they tied what I thought was an insignificant throwaway scene from part 1 and tied it to this movie was genius. When it comes to the action, this series never disappointed and the final is no exception. Kenshin has never been better. The sword fights are intricate and fast. Very fast, and at times just downright brutal, and I loved all of it. The story itself I thought was well crafted. It takes a slightly different turn from the previous films and it gets personal for Kenshin. I love how the film would slow down to express how and what Kenshin is feeling, which is also noticeable and refreshing change from the previous film. These personal and intimate scenes with its somber music and atmosphere just hits you in the feels. But can be clips you can post on Instagram and TikTok and everyone will comment about it or ask what movie they're from. A lot of the characters make a return and still in good form, but the new villain is probably my favorite villain of the entire series so far. The movie really doesn't go too deep with the villain's backstory. It gives you just the right amount of backstory to understand his motives and his hatred towards Kenshin. What separates this villain from the previous ones is the story takes a sympathetic turn for the bad guy this time. And we get to understand why he does what he does, but he's just going about it the wrong way. One of the differences that is noticeable is the sound design. Different from Hollywood's loud punches and hits, Kenshin the final mellows down the sound effects slightly and accents mainly the power moves. I'm not saying this is a bad or a good thing, but it's a noticeable difference in comparison to the Hollywood blockbuster style of sound editing. If there is one negative, a very minor negative, I'm just scraping the bottom of the barrel here for a negative point, is Kenshin once again fighting an army of soldiers. We've seen it before in the previous films and even with superhero films, fighting armies of aliens and zombies and so on, but it's still enjoyable. Like I said, I'm just scraping the bottom of the barrel here. As for why does Netflix have this movie, a movie produced by Warner Brothers and not on HBO Max, is a little baffling. I tried researching this but I couldn't find anything definitive, so I'm just gonna assume that Netflix was able to negotiate for the distribution rights. As great as this is for Netflix, I think this is bad for HBO Max. This is the type of genre diversity that HBO Max really needs. No, I'm not complaining because I have more trouble with the HBO Max app and even with the website not loading more times than it does, but it's just weird. And if I ever had to choose between the two services, it's because of reasons like this. I would keep my Netflix account going and cancel the latter. Netflix just continues to build a strong and diverse library of genres, and HBO Max still has a long way to go to catch up. So overall, if you have Netflix, watch this film. Highly recommend it. So make sure you catch up on the entire series part 1 through 4 because part 5 is coming out very soon, if not already, and soon to be on streaming probably. And thank you for watching. Till next time.